Paul Hogan became an international star thanks to his role as Mick Crocodile Dundee in the 1986 blockbuster film Crocodile Dundee. The movie not only catapulted him into Hollywood fame, but also introduced him to Linda Kozlowski, his beautiful co-star who later became his wife. Their on-screen chemistry was undeniable, and it soon blossomed into a real-life romance. For many years, Hogan and Kozlowski seemed like a perfect match, living a life that many fans envied. But behind the smiles and glamour of Hollywood, their marriage was far more complicated, and eventually it ended in a painful divorce that Hogan himself has described as nothing short of horrifying. Paul Hogan and Linda Kozlowski married in 1990, after meeting on the set of Crocodile Dundee. Together, they enjoyed years of happiness and welcomed a son, Chance Hogan, into their lives. For a long time, they appeared to have one of the rare Hollywood love stories that worked. Two actors, who had beaten the odds and managed to stay together despite the pressures of fame. However, over time, cracks began to show in their relationship. Hogan has spoken openly about how difficult it was to maintain a marriage in the public eye. Fame brought constant scrutiny, and their relationship was often a subject of media speculation. What made matters worse was the growing distance between them as they pursued different goals and lifestyles. While Hogan remained deeply connected to his Australian roots and his career, Kozlowski reportedly began to feel stifled and unhappy, longing for a different kind of life. By 2014, the couple decided to part ways after 23 years of marriage. What followed was a grueling divorce process that Hogan later revealed was one of the most painful experiences of his life. Though the split was officially described as amicable, insiders suggested that there was tension over finances, property, and custody arrangements regarding their son. Hogan described the ordeal as emotionally draining, admitting that divorce was far more difficult than he had ever imagined. Linda Kozlowski, for her part, also admitted that the marriage had become unsustainable. She explained that while they shared many wonderful years together, they had simply grown apart and wanted different things out of life. For her, the divorce was a chance to find freedom and pursue her own happiness away from the shadow of her husband's fame. For Hogan, however, the end of his marriage to Kozlowski was devastating. He has referred to the period as one of the darkest chapters of his life, filled with legal battles, emotional turmoil, and the heartbreak of seeing a love that once seemed unshakable come to an end. He confessed that despite being the charismatic tough man audiences adored on screen, he struggled deeply behind closed doors. Even after the divorce, Hogan has continued to speak respectfully of Kozlowski, acknowledging the impact she had on his life and career. Still, he admits that the process left scars that never fully healed. The horrors of divorce, as Hogan describes them, were not just about money or legal complications. They were about the loss of companionship, trust, and the shared dreams of a life together. Today, Hogan is older and more reflective. At 80, he has spoken about his regrets and the lessons he has learned. Though the tragedy of his divorce remains a painful memory, he continues to focus on his family, particularly his son Chance. For fans, the story of Hogan and Kozlowski is a reminder that even the most seemingly perfect Hollywood romances can unravel in heartbreaking ways.